security agencies, all security agencies all over the world,
They
they
can
also
infiltrate.
make use of
Yeah.
criminal syndicates.
As a
And
front.
so, yeah, they can do the job of the security agencies when needed, no? So that makes them also a threat to our national security, aside from a threat to our peace and order.
Yeah. And Justice, do you think there's a serious move towards some counter-influence legislation or something along those lines? I keep on talking to people in the government, people outside the government about this. There's a lot of discussion, but do you think there's any concrete move, or have you made any proposal? Anong dapat gawin natin similar to Australia and other democracies who have very strict counter-influence operations? Because I think the Alice Go controversy has exposed how porous our country is. It's so easy to even become a mayor if you're even if you're not Filipino and if you're potentially a syndicate person.
Well, I think there's a defect, or there's a gap in our registration of births. We allow late registration. So, and these are resolved by administrative officers. So my proposal is that if it's a late registration of live birth, it should be done by another agency, like for example, the judiciary, but a simple procedure, not too expensive. Just like a small claims court. It's very simple, but it must be another agency as a check and balance, because we've seen that the civil registrar are the culprits here, really, because they are the gatekeepers. I mean, if 1,500 Chinese nationals, uh, Chinese people, suddenly file an application for late registration of birth, I mean, those are red flags already. So we have to resolve that problem, that the defect in the system, by
Loophole, no?
giving the
Loophole.
authority
Loophole.
to another body. Yeah. So
It-
that there will be no inbreeding.
It's a gaping loophole. Do you think, Justice, there should be some heads rolling? I mean, you would imagine after all of this kapalpakan, all these years, fugitive list expanding, the Alice Go heads should be rolling, right? Parang walang
Yeah,
masyadong
they
alam ko
should file
na.
a case against that civil registrar as an example, because if he gets away with it, then there's no example on anyone. And also, what we in our letter to the president, we said the rules of PAGCOR say that these offshore gaming operators can operate only in a country that does not prohibit gambling. In China, they ban all kinds of gambling. That has been repeatedly announced by the Chinese embassy. So there must be no Pogo license issued for China,
Yeah,
for
ipso
Chinese
facto.
operators, because we all know, it's public knowledge, that a Pogo operator cannot be, his website cannot be accessed from China, or the Chinese people are banned from accessing gaming or gambling websites abroad. So it's a no-brainer that they have to deny all these applications of POGOs, but they granted them. So there's something wrong with PAGCOR.
Speaking of something wrong with PAGCOR, do you think something, I mean, ganito.
Well, this happened during the time of Duterte. The POGO started during the time of Duterte.
Yes, yes, Justice, but the current head of PAGCOR doesn't seem to be very uncomfortable. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? That's the problem. Okay, of course, this is the legacy, but we're almost 3 years into BBM. I don't think that could be used as an excuse all the time. Dahil meron.
Well, we're giving him some time, because we pointed to him that under your own rules, you should not be issuing licenses to these Chinese POGOs, because very obvious, they cannot, their websites cannot be accessed from China, or it's banned. It's illegal in China. So they should cancel all those licenses now. So we're just giving him time to straighten up.
Speaking of time, some are suggesting a phased sequential ban of Pogo. Some are saying there's no way because they're all essentially compromised to begin with. You have to go boom right away and make all of them
Yeah. Well,
ban right away. Where do you stand on that, Justice?
there are some POGOs theoretically that may be legal because their market is, let's say, a country that allows gambling or gaming.
Like
So,
Macau? I don't know, like like
well,
Macau.
I'm not sure, but in theory, there can be where gambling is allowed. So, what we are saying is that we're sure that in China, gambling is banned; it's illegal. So all these Chinese pogos should not be allowed to operate. Should be all their licenses should be revoked immediately. So uh, if they do not do that, then it's clear that something's wrong there. I mean, they're not doing their job. They're violating their own rules. So we're just giving them time uh, to 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 discuss it and pass a resolution uh, recalling all these licenses. And there is one thing: since these Chinese pogos are banned, they cannot be accessed by Chinese from the mainland. So they do not conduct gaming or gambling operations for the Chinese in mainland China. They actually conduct here illegal activities like scamming, internet scamming, phishing, so human trafficking. So what they're doing here are all illegal criminal activities. That's why we cannot even phase them out because if we phase them out, give them, let's say, 1 year, we will be allowing illegal activities for 1 year. It has to be totally stopped immediately. That's why I said that there is no. The moment we say we're giving you 6 months, that means we are saying you can do
Do
illegal
6 months
things for
illegal
6 months.
stuff. You can do and
Yeah.
diba, and parang sabi ng PagCorp, as long as mag-register lang kayo, parang legal kayo or something like that. Like, forget about my torture chamber, forget about my nagbabayad ba ng buwis ito, forget about meron bang syndicate. I mean, it's becoming ridiculous na, no? And someone is, Senator Gatchalian said the other day, what you need here is from the very top, from President BBM, he has to make it clear, total ban. So what do you think is holding BBM back?
That's why, Richard, our group, my classmates, Isambayan,
Open
all the
letter,
rest, the
yeah.
UP alumni, we went directly to the president. This is very clear. This is against the law, against their own rules, and you're the man on top. I mean, this PAGCOR is under the office of the president. So we went directly to him. So I expect that in the SONA, he will say something.
Hopefully.
Otherwise he's turning a blind eye.
Yeah, he'll be an enabler. I mean, the buck stops with BBM. At the end of the day, for everything we can say about Digong, 3 years na si BBM, he has to like take responsibility for this. Parang he
Yeah.
can't just ping pong this between
And
the different branches of the state. Yeah.
because we have exposed it already, he cannot say that I didn't know about it. I mean, so many people have come out. It's all over the papers. So he has to say something in the SONA.
Right. It's honestly, it's embarrassing. No, it reflects badly on the country. It looks like, makes us look like a banana republic. I mean, if BBM wants to reintroduce the Philippines, as he put it, na go around the world, make us look like an investment destination, and then people get to know an illegal Chinese person can become a mayor in the Philippines. What the heck, diba? I mean, forget about rule of law, considering all the EJKs and everything else that is also happening behind the scenes. Now, Justice, what are you expecting in the SONA? What do you think should BBM do this time? Because if he's just gonna give the same papogi, macroeconomic indicators, mga charot-charot niya ng technocratic ek-ek na ganyan, I just don't think it will cut it. I think he has to do something special this SONA. Considering everything, unity team.
I'm suggesting two things because first, he said that we have to do more than filing notes verbal, more than protests against China. So that means the next step is to go to arbitration. So I expect him, I would like to hear him say that we are going to bring China to arbitration over the extended continental shelf off the coast of Palawan. Because remember, we filed our claim, extended continental shelf claim, and China opposed. And so it's ripe now for arbitration. So I hope he announces that. Second, I hope he says that all these POGOs, that the Chinese POGOs will be, their licenses will be canceled. I hereby order the cancellation. And that's being decisive. And it's the only thing he can do, because it's so obvious that these are criminal syndicates operating in our country using the Pogo as a cover, the Pogo license. And the Chinese embassy has repeatedly said uh, gambling is illegal. Please abolish cancel these licenses, because we don't want them to operate in mainland China. And we're telling China, you follow the rule of law in the South China Sea. They will tell us, follow the rule of law in our own country, in the mainland.
Yun nga, I mean, that's also the reason why I'm saying he has to come clean on ICC also. I mean, ICC is different case, but in a way, it's not also so different because it's about international rule of law, right?
Yes.
Do you think that BBM has really a problem in terms of looking weak and indecisive, and then that he has to do something drastic on this, whether it's on the foreign policy issue, although he's slightly doing better there, but in general, right? Do you think it's time for him to project some sort of strength and decisiveness, not in a dictator way, but in a good, competent leader way?
Well, yes, I think, because for this Pogo, I think everything is very clear. The facts and the law, that's very clear. And even China is asking him. Second, on the arbitration, we have to respond to the threats of China when they stopped our resupply last October 17 with the bladed weapons. We cannot just let that go. There must be a punishment for China, and the best punishment is to bring China to an arbitration, because that is what China dreads most, that they will be brought again to another tribunal, because they know that they will lose again. So we cannot allow China to do that to us without any response.
Consequences, yeah, impunity. You cannot
It's like
encourage impunity.
it's like President Aquino the third, no? Pinoy. When China seized Scarborough Shoal in 2012, we did not send the Marines. We went legal. We went to an UNCLOS tribunal. That's what we should do now.
I want to focus on this before I go to operational issue, including itong latest joint RORE-ish situation. Before going to the operational tactical, I want to focus on this. I mean, I was with the Ambassador Malaya at The Hague the other week, for my own engagements at The Hague around the arbitration case and all. And, Ambassador Malaya was saying at the end of the day, essentially, the arc of history bends towards international justice when it comes to arbitration cases. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be 1 month from now. But eventually, even China has to abide, because China has an interest in international rule of law. It's vulnerable itself. It has, trade all around the world. It wants access to the North Pole. It wants access to... So if it mumbo-jumbos its way, kakagatin siya later on. It's going to blow back. It's going to have a blowback for China. So in that sense, we see that a lot of our folks in the government also appreciate the importance of this arbitration case. Now, going back to this, Justice, can you explain to us first, what is this whole extended continental shelf issue that the DFA is pushing for? Vietnam is also pushing for an extended continental shelf. They already did once back